guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, we've got a new video today. This one hopefully a little bit more exciting. Well, at least it is for me. For a long time I have always wondered a little bit about this car. This is kind of, while it should be in there very much planted in the facelift time frame, it has a lot of interesting crossovers, and I think the more I read, the more I understand that from 2004 and 2005, obviously the Mini went through a facelift, but it went through a facelift, and there's parts with the car that were still options in the car. So you could, certain cars still had some of the old bits in them. Some of them, some of the options that we consider being facelift are actually still just options in the car. The one in this car that every day I hop in it now just irks me, I guess, it's just not nice to look at, is exactly what I am looking at right now. Not the camera, but the steering wheel. Yes, it's the two-spoke steering wheel. And yes, this is a facelift car. So we have looked around. My first thought was to go away and buy a sports steering wheel, and possibly even put it on a removable hub. However, back to me. However, talking to my garage, the guys I use, great guys, the way MOT's going is if your car has a airbag from manufacturer, then it has to have an airbag at MOT time. Now, arguably, one could say, well, you could, pop it off, put the sports wheel on, MOT, swap it around, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you ever got pulled over or something like that and you didn't have it, well, you'd obviously be in trouble. So I've seen a number of posts on the different clubs of people who've gone off and done different things. I think Royal Steering Wheels is certainly one that I'd seen. But I'd also seen another one, and we'll mention them now. So Brotherscustomsteeringwheels. So I'd seen a post on the R53 Owners Club of someone who'd got one. I liked what they'd done with the wheel. It was nicely bolstered, lumps and bumps everywhere, looking really good. And I guess all I needed was a three-spoke wheel. When I looked into dealing with Brothers, they actually can source a wheel for you if you don't have one. So that's what I was looking for. I was going to start by looking for a wheel. I've been looking around for a wheel for a while. The two-spoke wheel I have, which you would have seen, has got the cruise control buttons on it. They've got horn buttons, but obviously with the three-spoke is actually just the central airbag you push. It's also got buttons on the back. There are 6 in total, which run the radio. But because I've changed the radio, they're not doing anything. So I know you can do some things with this radio. I haven't looked into it yet. Maybe that's something for the future. I was looking for a three-spoke wheel with buttons, but in the end I thought, well, you know what, it's not the end of the world, it's not the biggest pain in the bum. The radio is probably the most annoying thing, and that's not working at the moment. Cruise control, I very rarely use it. I like to use it on the motorway, especially if there's roadworks and you've got to keep to a set limit. I find it very handy. It's amazing, you set the car at a set limit, and it's amazing how many other cars are just going faster, slower, up and down, all over the place. But went to meet a guy, Simon, who showed me his GP1 Mini, and maybe if I go see him again and if he's okay with it, maybe we'll do a video on it. It's quite an interesting car. Not for all, because he's done some modifications, but the modifications he's done are very, very tasteful. They're very in keeping with the OEM look of the car, but very, very clean, very nice, very nice. I was well impressed with the state of his car. Quite jealous too, I might add. Anyway, back to the point. So I got one from him. Contacted Brothers, great communication. Turns out they actually have some stock items of the Mini wheels. They do a whole range of wheels, of course. So if you just go on, I'll put the links below to there. They've got a Facebook page, they've got an Instagram as well, and they do all sorts. And so they showed me some pictures. They had really, again, having a look at the pictures, really like what they'd done with the wheel. They had yellow, white, blue, red, I I think they may even had a purple mauve one as well. Can't remember now, but I thought about blue, but the car is blue and there's only so much blue I think I need in my life. I have got yellow highlights, obviously, that was my first thought. Then I thought, well, obviously the roof is white, the rear view mirrors have got a white cap, and I kind of don't mind that, so I was starting to think maybe I should go white. But yeah, then I thought, well, that'd be a pain in the bum to keep clean as well, and depending on what else I do with the car, I think the yellow would suit better. So that's what we've gone for, and we'll show you images of that later. But first of all, we need to prepare the 3-spoke wheel. It has a airbag. Airbag has that nice silver strip. I wasn't keen to keep the silver strip, and I've seen people paint these things before, so first thing is to go and sort that out. Right, we'll leave that for a sec, come back to it in a minute. Right, now it's dried up a bit, it's looking alright. Definitely where I saw that little burr, there was definitely something that had got onto the plastic before the paint went down, but no, we've managed to get that off. Always looks good when the paint goes down, but we'll wait until that dries up and see how well that's looking. It'll dry pretty quickly in this heat, but to a touch, but we'll give it a few minutes anyway. Alright, so we did a third coat, and it's a little bit of rubbish in it, but I think that third coat has just about done the trick. It's pretty much now covered all the lines, etc. Again, because I'm painting outside, which I don't like doing, but unfortunately I'm not going to paint in there. I'll get paint on stuff, and some of the stuff's not mine, so it's not too bad. It's probably could have done maybe a little bit more down here, but that's looking good. So let's do a quick reveal, if we can. Right, that's not too bad. There's a couple of little spots here that I can see. Yeah, a couple of little spots that need redoing. But it's not too bad, not too bad. Right, so here's the package we've been waiting for. Let's open up and we'll talk about who did this and you know, what it looks like. Very excited to see this. Very excited. So I have seen a picture of this already. Check this out. That is simply beautiful. All this from a standard 3-spoke wheel. They've added a change of shape here. That sits nicely in your hand. Added more thickness here. Flattened out the bottom. I'm assuming they've painted these covers, but it doesn't look like paint, but yeah, really nicely done. Right guys, so we've got the airbag ready, as you've seen. We have the steering wheel here as well, all ready. First thing is, we're going to pop this off. Now, to get this off, we need a Torx T30. So obviously the first thing is we're dealing with airbags, so what we need to do is remove the power, which I've done. So I've taken the negative off the battery, and then we've got this, and in behind the steering wheel here, just up in here, there's a hole. Now we're going to stick the Torx in there somewhere, he says, in on an angle here like this, and undo, he goes, hopefully. Oh, maybe we're going to undo and loosen these screws off. So there's one on this side and one on the other side. Right, so they're undone, so this should, oh, there we go, that just pop off. Now, the airbag, I don't know if we can see that there. Right, so we need a screwdriver to just pop off this airbag. So we're going to lift up these little clips here, and then that just pops up. So this little clip here is holding that in place, and then that should just come up and out. There we go. So that's the airbag out. Two little clips in the back there, which should, he hopes, look very similar to those, and they do. They're just slightly different angles, but that's all right. Okay, so we've got that off. There we go. That's loose. Yeah, that's loose. Right, so as you can see, someone's marked this in the past, but on the inside the steering wheel, just there, hopefully you can see, and just on the steering shaft, there's actually a little mark. So you will get that. You shouldn't have any issues lining that one up. And if we look at the new wheel, again, there's a nice little mark in there. So now as well, you can see what we've got and what we're about to go to. So let's see. That comes off nice and easily. Let's just get those cables out carefully. All right, let's poke these through here. And you can see there's actually a hole in this. There's a missing couple of splines where the centre line is. So we're just going to get that one lined up. Wiggle her on. There we go. That's looking good. So this connector here was the horn. And all I did is I just got a little screwdriver on to pull out just in here, just to lever that out a little bit. So that's all right. That can go back in there. So like I said, that's your horn. Just make sure it's nice and tight on that one. Yep. This one's our airbag. Obviously we don't have anything for the accessories at the moment, which should be fine, but we'll have a look at that at some point in the near future. The airbag will come once you put the bolt in. Obviously we don't want the wheel to come off. So we're just going to chuck that in. Man, this wheel is really nice. What a difference it makes to the car. What a difference. Right. Let's get this tightened up. We've got it on in steering lock, so it should be okay to give that a bit of a tighten. Just a little bit more. There we go. So it wasn't massively tight, so we don't want to wreck that thread. Man, check that out. That's just gorgeous. Now it makes the rest of the car look terrible. I'm gonna have to do something else to the car now, aren't I? Yes. All this plastic. I have got some ideas to something to do with this plastic to cover this stuff. The top is a little bit more interesting because obviously the airbag's on top on the facelift model. But yeah, we'll see. This is going to be just so much nicer to drive with. Right, the wiring part again, making sure, please don't have the battery on when you're playing with these things. I'm just going to double check because the orientation of these is slightly different. I'm just going to get the old one again to have a look at. So this was like that. So I can have a look at the keying on the plug. Right, so that was like that on the plug. Okay, good. So that is going to be like this. Ooh, can we see it? I'll make sure we don't. I think I might hold it a little bit like this. In, clip that in place. So that should just push in and maybe clips into the springs there. So now we can see the paint job I did on there. Looks good. The steering wheel looks good. All done. So as I said, Brothers Custom Steering Wheels. As I said, as I mentioned before, the things I liked about it, and these nice bulges, ridges here, the accentuated bulges up here, just again, so for holding it here, it's really nice. You've got firm areas for your palms to sit in, and if you are pulling up, you've got a lot more to grab onto. So that's looking really nice. I was considering doing something with some of this. There's a few scratches in that. Maybe that's something we can pull off and clean. I've seen people do, I think, change these. So hopefully that's something we can do. I did consider changing this as well. Maybe painting that black. again, we'll have a look and see what we think about over time. Good thing is we know how it comes off, and the important thing at the moment is to get it on. Right, love to hear your comments and thoughts on this steering wheel. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Like I said, you can get this in many colours and for multiple different cars as well. So, hey, give these guys a call. I'll put it in the description below, like I think I may have already mentioned, that I will put in a link to the guys where I got this from. So they're on Facebook and also Instagram, and yeah. So that'll be the end of this one. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care for now.